Hey, what's up, everybody? Anton Kraly here from eCommerceLifestyle.com, and welcome back to the podcast. In today's episode, we are going to be talking about using ClickFunnels versus using Shopify for your e-commerce store. So specifically, ClickFunnels versus Shopify as it relates to a physical product business. A few notes before we get into this episode. I should let you know that I use both platforms. I've used both of them for years. Actually won awards for using both of them in very effective ways. So I'm not a hater. I'm also not somebody that's just making this podcast to earn commissions. We do have affiliate links for both products, but I'm not going to post them below this podcast. Just so you know, this is just like actual advice, not just driving you to click a certain link so I can earn $5, okay? Don't care about $5. So with that being said, right? Two amazing platforms, both with amazing leadership teams. Again, I'm a huge fan and supporter of both, but which one should you actually be using if you want to get into e-commerce? So let me break this down the simplest way that I know how to put it, and then demonstrate what I mean by each one. So in my opinion, when you're deciding between Shopify or ClickFunnels for your e-commerce business, what you're really deciding is, do you want a store or do you want a booth? Okay, the store, that would be Shopify. I'll just put Shopify here. And the booth, that would be ClickFunnels. I'll just put CF for short. Now, when I say a booth, I'm thinking, you're walking down the beach, right? You're maybe in Santa Monica. You see a booth set up. It's a guy, kind of like an infomercial guy. He's got a product demonstration going. He's pulling in the crowds. There's a huge amount of people around him. He's showing you maybe how to use this new knife, showing you how it slices tomatoes, and everybody's there with their money out being like, wow, I want this product. They're buying it right now. And it's creating what people refer to actually as a table rush. So that is when I use ClickFunnels, how I'm trying to use it. And based on the functionality of the product, in my opinion, that's really how it's meant to be used. So before we come back to that, let's look over here again at the store approach. Now, this would be something like you are walking down maybe the beach again, but instead of looking to the right where there's a booth set up, there is a huge store, and it's something called kitchen gadgets and home appliances. And you walk through the door there, and you actually see that knife that was outside being sold with a bunch of hype around it. You also see knives from other brands. You see an expert from the store saying, hey, you might have seen this knife over here. Did you know we also offer these, right? Almost like a comparison chart. You have somebody popping in and saying, are you looking for anything else in addition to this knife? Did you know that if you buy these knives, we're also including this free knife sharpener? Or did you know if you upgrade to this package, you also get X, Y, and Z? So whereas here in your store with Shopify, you're creating more of an experience that's not, this is the key, that's not just tailored around one single product. You're building an experience as if somebody was walking into a specialty store and looking to be guided and helped to get exactly what they need, not just for a product, but for whatever their needs are. So building out bundles, offering them related things, offering them the advice to guide them towards what is right for them, while also increasing your average order value and lead value. Whereas here, again, with ClickFunnels, it's a very targeted approach. So let's just say you did want to build a store selling kitchen gadgets, which if you follow any of my stuff, I wouldn't recommend, but let's say that's what you want to do. If you were going to build that store, ClickFunnels is not the solution for you. The reason is it's built for exactly what they say it is, and it does a great job of that. Sales funnels, bringing people in where maybe they can opt in, give you their name and their email, selling them a product in a very direct response type way, getting that sale right away, and then taking them through what are known as upsells and downsells. So let me flip this around and I'll show you what it looks like. So let's just say you had that knife, right? We'll keep things simple. That's the example. It's on your ClickFunnels store. What you would be doing is buying traffic from all different sources, most likely Facebook, Instagram, probably Google as well. And you're going to be sending all that traffic to this page. Now, again, what ClickFunnels does a great job of is allows you to optimize this page to get conversions as high as possible, because these funnel pages have a sole focus. So maybe you're building a page at first that's going to, again, try to collect a name and email, but the goal is going to be to push them towards the purchase. And just like I mentioned with that booth on the beach example, you can use all the elements on this page to build that hype. You can have all different different types of animations on the page. You can have countdown timers. You can have visitor counters. You can build it in a way that it shows all the products and the features and the benefits. But again, the sole purpose when somebody comes from any of your traffic sources and hits that page, it's to get them to buy that product as soon as possible. Again, not saying that's a bad thing, but if you're trying to build a store and more of an experience, that might not be what your goal is. Now, let's just talk about some other practical reasons why people use ClickFunnels, including me, and what it's good for. Besides just building these gorgeous, highly converting pages, you can also very easily build in what are known as upsells. So maybe we're selling the knife, somebody buys from us. Instead of sending them to a generic order confirmation page, we can easily create a page that they see that says, hey, congratulations on your knife purchase. Do you want to add this knife sharpener? Or do you want to add 2 more knives? Or do you want to complete your set, right? Whatever it is, you can do through an upsell page. But remember, they're not seeing this until they buy that. Now, the other thing you can do is what's known as a downsell. So if somebody goes to your knife page on ClickFunnels, they buy the knife, they see the upsell, then they say, no, I don't want this. Well, then maybe you offer them something else, like 50% off, 1 more knife or whatever it may be. But the things that you're offering throughout the funnel, they could be whatever you want, but the way that people typically make it work best is when you're doing that table rush style thing, that 30-minute, 15-minute infomercial type thing, where you're simply offering either directly related products or more of the same after the sale is made. So I don't know if you've ever called any numbers off infomercials for a product you wanted, but that's how it works, right? You call and you say, hey, I just saw the deal where you were offering the garden hose for $15, I want to buy that. And they say, okay, great. By the way, you should also add blah, 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 whatever it is, and they upsell you on the phone. So with ClickFunnels, it makes sense as people are going through the funnel. Now, let's compare this to Shopify, again, to the store experience. Okay, so let's just say we're using the same traffic sources, right? We have Facebook, we have Instagram, we have Google, but now we're sending people to our Shopify store. Well, when we're getting traffic to our Shopify store, we're not sending them to the home page. We're not sending them to a collections page. We're still sending them to a product page. So if you had this knife that you wanted to build hype around, you could have a product page on Shopify that had that exact knife. You could also do things if you want to build some of that hype around it, like have a countdown timer. Don't do it unless it's real, but you could do that. You could have visitor counters. You can customize the page on Shopify to make it look like pretty much whatever you want it to look like. But what most people do, and what I would advise you to do if you're building a Shopify store, is make sure that it's not distracting, but that people know you do have other products available as well. That way you can increase your average order value and you can get a lot more than somebody just buying your knife in this example. Now, there's some more things you can do on Shopify that build authority and build trust rather than just that quick hype digital rush type thing that you might get with a ClickFunnels page. So some of the things that we do and that you can do on Shopify are built in what I would consider expert resources. So these could be things like buying guides. These could be things like expert live chat you could have on the site. These could even be things like product comparisons, like I mentioned earlier, where if somebody lands on the knife, you could tell them why it's great for them, but then you can also have maybe a graph that shows off the next 3 levels as far as improvements. So maybe this knife is $50, you compare it right on that page to the $75 version and the $100 version and the $300 version of that knife, right? Whatever that may be. And that way, instead of just being like, buy this, buy this, buy this, you're actually helping them and guiding them to finding the right product for them, which then in turn increases your average order value. Now, some more things that I like for physical products about having a Shopify store is that it really is that store experience. So even if the person comes from your ad source, they buy that knife right away, it's not over there, right? Because you don't only have one page with a knife, you have a whole collection. You have multiple collections. You have other products that make sense for them. So whether they buy or they don't buy, you can be remarketing to them via email, via Facebook, via Instagram, via YouTube, showing them products that are related to what they saw on your store. Now what this does is increases your customer lifetime value because they'll buy from you not just once, but multiple times to get the related products that you're selling. Now, I also wanted to say, again, things have changed since last time I talked about comparing these platforms, which was, I think, almost 3 years ago. And that is that there are now a ton of different apps on Shopify that you can also use to do upsells and to do downsells should you want to do so. So they're not natively built in like they are with ClickFunnels. So you do have to like pay for an extra app on top of Shopify, but Shopify is $29 a month. ClickFunnels is $99, so the prices will probably level out. Again, I gotta say, again, I love both companies, huge fan. I would never cancel my subscription for either of them. But if you're building an e-commerce store and you have more than one product, which I highly recommend you should, and by the way, I'll do a video on that in the future, one product stores versus traditional stores. I highly recommend you build a traditional store. I highly recommend you build it on Shopify. You can build in almost all of the benefits that you can get from ClickFunnels. So things like exit intent when people go to leave, you can have their emails collected. Not just that, but Shopify has an amazing partner ecosystem. So you can pretty much customize your store to do almost anything. ClickFunnels, I love, I recommend, but only, please, if you're watching this video, if you're part of the Dropship Lifestyle community, or if you're not, but you're already up and running on Shopify and you're thinking, should I sign up for ClickFunnels? Is it gonna make me more money? Only if you have like one product that you want to pull out of your Shopify store and run a separate funnel for that. There's benefits for that. Maybe you have affiliates, you want to promote one product, you want to build that booth and table rush experience, and you want to just have that as a separate side thing, then it makes sense. But if your focus is to build a store, Shopify is the winner all day long. Now, I'm also just going to say before I wrap this video up that I am speaking strictly about physical products. I'm speaking specifically about having a real store that sells multiple things. But if you're in a different type of business, like maybe coaching or consulting or anything like that, then Shopify is not your solution at all, and ClickFunnels crushes it night and day. So keep that in mind as well. This is specific to physical product stores. So as always, guys, I hope you found this useful. If you did, please leave a comment below and let me know. And if you're not subscribed yet to the podcast, definitely go to Apple Podcasts, click subscribe, and please leave a review while you're there. It really helps the channel and helps us continue to grow. So thank you. I appreciate you. And I'll talk to you in the next episode of the podcast. See ya. Hey, what's up, guys? Anton here again, and I hope you got some real value out of that video you just watched. If you did, you should definitely check out this one or this video right here. I do 2 new ones every week. You'll see a subscribe button right here. And if you want my free training that is 2.5 hours long of value with 237 niches, click this button right down here. It'll take you to where you need to go.